Friday into Saturday, the all-important weekend, high pressure will try and do its stuff in the south, but you'll notice it's rather rudely elbowed out of the way, certainly across the northern half of the British Isles, by a set of fronts coming in from the Atlantic. So here again, pretty wet, pretty windy conditions, and again a top temperature of only 15 or 16 degrees. Now there is a little bit of uncertainty about what's going to go on from Saturday on into Sunday, but I suspect that what will happen is that those weather fronts will gradually work their way down and across the British Isles, so that'll drag the wet weather ever further towards the south. But with the wind coming back into the southwest, we may find 2 or 3 degrees or so. But looking further north, it could well be the case that you do see a little bit of brightness coming through. So the weekend, very unsettled, some rain, a lot of cloud.
So would you say that the Andrew Marr show is television art at its most sublime?
Well, you don't exaggerate.
It's a sort of kaleidoscopic sort of mayhem.
I'm not saying it's not controversial. Basically does what it says on the tin.
And would you say that the presenter is effortlessly charismatic for that?
Rubbish, frankly. I mean, let me sort of qualify that.
Oh, thanks. Well, just tell them when the show's on then.
It happens every week.
Cheers, man.
That's right. Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock, BBC One.
Well, hello, very good evening. Hard Talk coming up in just a moment, but a summary of the news first. And the former Alaskan Governor, Sarah Palin, says she will not run for the American presidency in next year's election. In a statement just over an hour ago, she said that she and her husband would devote themselves to God, family and country, and that her decision maintained that order. However, Ms Palin told supporters she would help the Republican cause by working to elect others. Speaking in his keynote address to the Conservative Party conference, David Cameron called on the British public not to be paralysed by economic gloom and fear, saying his government is laying the foundations for stronger growth and that a can-do optimism is needed. Well, a downbeat appraisal of the British economy is blamed on a drop in consumer spending and industrial output. The Office for National Statistics has halved its estimate for growth between April and June to 0.1%. It now says the economy has been at a virtual standstill for 9 months. And the tough consumer environment has also been blamed for the poor half-yearly results of Britain's supermarket giants. Tesco recorded its worst sales performance in 20 years, while Sainsbury's and Morrison's reported only modest growth. Well, that's the summary of the news, and that is it from me tonight. It is time now for Hard Talk. Good night.
We are used to the idea that we're living in Asia's century, that China and India are leading an irreversible shift of power from west to east. Well, maybe it's time to challenge that new orthodoxy. Asian nations face huge unresolved challenges of poverty, poor governance and environmental degradation. My guest today is Rajat Nag, Managing Director of the Asian Development Bank. Are reports of Asia's economic advance somewhat premature? Rajat Nag, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It strikes me that in recent years,